Today's classrooms are changing. Teachers are being asked to tailor instruction to meet individual needs of each student. Students are expected to have the skills to take responsibility for their own learning. Classrooms are active and highly differentiated, and standards demand that students not only know the information, but they're able to apply that knowledge, work in teams to solve problems, and articulate their positions clearly. Classrooms are no longer just rows and a teacher providing whole group instruction. Teachers are implementing a number of strategies throughout a day or even a single class period, whether it's one-to-one learning, flipped classroom, project-based learning, even strategies to support RTI are all examples of what a teacher can employ in a single classroom. These models are being adopted for good reason, and research supports this fundamental shift in students taking responsibility for their own learning and teachers becoming experts in facilitating that learning. According to John Hattie in his book Visible Learning, what is required are teachers who are aware of what individual students are thinking and knowing, and who can construct meaning and meaningful experiences in light of this knowledge. There are many formative assessment tools that can give teachers feedback on student progress, but the problem is most of that information comes to the teacher after the learning moment has happened. What is needed is access to informative feedback from the students that the teacher can use immediately to adjust instruction while the learning is happening. Lightspeed has always been committed to the idea that improved listening leads to better learning. In recent years, we've learned that not only students need to be able to listen better, but teachers need to be able to listen to gain access to valuable feedback from students. Lightspeed solutions create access to listening and learning that is not possible in any other way. Our Access audio platform centers around a microphone for the teacher and two-way audio pods for each student group. These devices integrate the teacher into the learning process of multiple student groups. Teachers are able to monitor student conversations without changing the collaborative dynamic within the group. Teachers gain valuable insights into how the group is working together, who is struggling, and what is needed to encourage or challenge the group to move forward. I recently had the opportunity to observe an 8th grade math class using our Access audio solution with Flexcat pods. As the students walked into the room, the teacher assigned each student to a pod or a group. Once the class got started, the teacher stayed with a group into the front of the room. After a few minutes, she stepped away and had a quick conversation with a group in the back of the room. I later learned that check-in, she discovered they were off task, she needed to get them focused, and she wanted to do it without disturbing all the other groups. She then switched to whole group instruction to cover a concept. It turns out that one of the groups was struggling with that concept that they had just learned the day before, and the teacher felt that others in the group may be struggling as well. She learned this without singling out any of the individuals. At one point during the period, the teacher heard one of the groups working through a challenging problem and doing it well. She walked over to the group, had a conversation with them, and then asked them if they would take a moment to prepare and then share with the whole class. As she stepped away, with a simple touch of the button, she was able to turn the pod in that group into a microphone they could share from the comfort of their group with the entire class. Teachers using our Access solutions tell us they are able to manage classrooms more effectively, stay connected and assess progress with their groups, and provide guidance through powerful insights. Our favorite testimonial is from a teacher who tells us now she catches her kids shining. At Lightspeed, we're here to help you gain insights into your students' learning so you can catch your students at their very best every day.
Hi, I'm Vicki Ogle, and I'd like to show you how to use your new Flexcat system. With multiple two-way audio pods positioned on tables with each of your student groups, you can connect with your students in ways never before possible. Flexcat pairs up with your whole room audio system and extends communication to those small groups. And it aligns with your collaborative classroom, seamlessly transitioning between whole group instruction and facilitating small group student-centered learning. The teacher wears a flex mic combined with an earbud to address the whole classroom or to monitor student collaboration and learning. The handheld remote allows the teacher to select various student groups or the whole room. The two-way battery-powered audio pods include both a speaker and a microphone and sit on tables with each student group. To get started using your Flexcat system, remove the pods from the charging station and place them in the center of the group table to ensure the microphone will properly pick up student voices. Also note the location of each of the numbers. Your system will include anywhere from 2 to as many as 12 pods. Make sure the pods are powered on and connected, represented by a solid blue power light on the top of the unit. If you do need to power them on, flip the pod over and slide the power switch to the on position. The blue power light on the top will begin blinking and then turn solid after several seconds to indicate it is connected. You can also adjust the volume of the speaker using the volume knob on the bottom side of the unit. We recommend setting it at about the 12 o'clock position. This is generally the proper level for the immediate group to clearly hear it, but not overly loud to bleed over and distract neighboring groups. Remove the Flex mic from the charging station. It hangs comfortably around your neck with its magnetic lanyard. You can use the adjusters on the side if needed to adjust the length so the microphone sits just below your collarbone. This ensures that the microphone will properly pick up your voice so the kids can clearly hear your instruction, whether you're across the room or turned facing the board or another group. You also will no longer need to use your teacher voice. Just talk in normal tones. The kids will hear every word. Once the microphone is properly positioned, you can place the earbud in your ear. The earbud is wrapped around the lanyard and plugs into the headphone jack on the Flex mic. You'll want to double check it's connected properly before your first use. Now remove your remote from the charger. When using the remote, you will begin in whole class mode, connected to the classroom speaker, and your microphone is muted, as indicated by the lighted mute button on the remote and the red status light on the Flex mic. Unmute your microphone by tapping the mute button on the remote to address the whole room, ensuring that every student can clearly hear your instruction. To address one of the student groups, press that pod number button on the remote. The button will blink to let you know that it's connected. You can choose to just listen to the student group and gain critical learning insights by muting your microphone. Simply tap the mute button. With your microphone muted, you can now jump from pod to listen to your different student groups. Redirect and reinforce as needed by unmuting your microphone. To adjust your headphone volume, use the volume up or down buttons on the remote. To allow a group to share out to the whole class, you can connect their pod to the whole room speaker. To activate this, tap the pod number button quickly, followed by the center button. The student should be within 18 to 24 inches of the pod to properly pick up his or her voice. To end student sharing, you can press the class button or select any pod. As you begin to teach, you can jump from pod to pod and back to class for seamless interaction with your students. When students need assistance, each pod has a call button on the side for students to activate. Once the button is pressed, the teacher will hear a beep in the earbud, and the corresponding pod button will blink, indicating that group has a question when you're ready. To stop a pod light from blinking, simply select that pod or just tap the class button to clear multiple blinking lights. If you ever need to have a private conversation or leave the room, you'll want to make sure that your microphone is muted. The Flex mic does have a range of up to 200 feet. So if you're in the hallway, you can continue to monitor the students in the classroom, but they can still hear you if your microphone is not muted. To adjust the volume of a teacher microphone, you can simply use the volume up or down buttons on the side of the microphone. To make larger adjustments, you can use the microphone volume control on the classroom speaker, amplifier, or media connector. To adjust the volume level of the pod microphone when in student sharing mode, you will need to adjust the microphone volume on the classroom speaker, the amplifier, or the media connector. Remember, the student will need to be from 18 to 24 inches from the pod when in this mode. too loud of a volume level will result in feedback. Flexcat systems purchased after July 2016 allow the ability to control your system using an iOS device, your iPhone, your iPod Touch, or an iPad. To determine if your system has this capability, check your handheld remote. If it has just light gray graphics on the front and a micro USB charging port on the side, it can be paired with an iOS device. To pair your iOS device, first visit the App Store, search for and download the Lightspeed Flexcat remote. When you open the app, you will be prompted to pair with the Flexcat remote. You will need a paperclip, then insert that into the BT button on the side of the remote. The mute button on the remote will begin blinking, and then the app will prompt you to pair with the remote. Press the pair button to begin using the app as the remote. The app will take you through a tutorial on how to use the various functions, including some additional functions only available using the app, such as the ability to use as many as 12 pods. It is critical to note that the app is uniquely paired with a handheld remote, so the remote must remain powered on with a charged battery. We recommend always leaving the remote in the charger to ensure continuous operation. Also, your iOS device must remain within transmission range of the remote. It can vary, but the transmission range of your iOS device is generally about 100 feet. Even after you have downloaded the app, you can continue to use the handheld remote at any given time. Keep in mind the handheld remote can only select pods 1 through 6. Any pods higher than 6 require the app. If your Flexcat is configured with 2 flex mics and 2 remotes, you have full team teaching capability. This allows 2 teachers to address the whole class simultaneously, or to address 2 pods at the same time, or they both can address 1 pod together. It is important to note that a flex mic is designated either as microphone number 1 or number 2, as indicated by the mic status light. That must be matched together with its companion remote, labeled either with teacher number 1 or number 2 on the serial number label on the back. It's possible your second microphone, either a second flex mic or a handheld share mic, does not include a remote. In that case, it will operate solely as a whole classroom microphone and remain connected with the classroom speaker. It's generally used as a student pass-around mic. At the end of the day, you will need to return your flex mic, remote, and all pods to the charging station for nightly charging. Batteries will last a full day, but will need to be charged each night. A full charge cycle takes about 8 to 10 hours, or overnight. Insert the flex mics into the corresponding microphone number 1 or number 2 slot, ensuring the microphone is facing forward. The charging indicator light will turn red. When you return in the morning, that light will turn green to indicate a full charge. Insert the remotes into the corresponding remote number 1 or number 2 charging slots. Make sure the red charging light turns on. It will turn green when fully charged. Insert the pods into the pod charging ports with the charging contacts facing down. The charging light will turn red and then green when fully charged. We recommend leaving the pods powered on for convenience. They are designed to charge normally in the on position. If you have 5 or 6 pods, they charge via a charging cable from the side of the charging station. Plug the charging cable into one of the charging jacks on the cradle, then into the charge input on the pod. The red charging light will turn on, then go to green when fully charged. If you have a share mic, it also charges via cable connected to the USB charging port. With that, you now know everything you need to know to effectively use your Flexcat system. If you have any questions, please visit our website or call our 800 number. We have a live customer service team available to help. We want to thank you for watching this video and for using your Lightspeed system.